Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about Flame and everything, like Flame in general. But I guess I don't have like an introduction per se on this channel. So anyone who's watched my previous Flame videos may not know exactly who I am. I'm Kopal Bhandari. I am currently going into my fourth year at Flame, doing an honors degree with a major in finance and a minor in digital marketing. I've been able to cover two internships in the past 3 years, been able to study abroad. I also love creating content. I love building my life. I'm a big fanatic of lifestyle, culture, growth, and just like living my best life. Please follow along and let's get into the video. Always take everything with a pinch of salt, like this video. Whatever I tell you now, it's from personal experience. If you have any questions from the video, or anything that you want me to kind of address, put them down in the comment section here. And sometime this week, I will do a Q&A session on my Instagram, so make sure you follow there as well, so that I can answer your questions in real time. Basically, on a very overall basis, my experience with Flame has been one of the most enriching experiences I've had. And yes, there are always some things that don't always fit with everyone, but I think that's where learning curve comes in. Along with that, I also think that when you are moving out of home and you're moving in as like, in a dorm or just living away from home, there's a lot you tend to learn as compared to being home during those, like, crucial years of your life. When I was starting out, when I wanted to, choose which university I wanted to go to, what college I wanted to do, or what course I was looking at, Flames course really like intrigued me because I think it gave me the space to explore before I had to actually narrow down on one particular thing and one or two particular things. And that was really a good way to kind of start off thinking about my career, because I did not want to stick to just one thing. And I've always been the type of person who loved exploring and who loves exploring. So I was like, okay, this is great. First year, I get to actually do courses and understand if there's anything else other than what I think I already love that I want to try out. So that gave me a really good edge. The second thing that I was incredibly kind of, drawn to was the semester abroad program. Now, I know like a lot of people have seen my semester abroad videos. If you haven't, you should go check those out because those are so fun, and like I keep watching them once in a while. Anyway, so my point is that when I was applying to universities, I also applied abroad, and one of the universities that I applied to was Indiana University, which was where I went for my semester abroad. So, all I want to say is that I wanted that global exposure. I wanted to go abroad. It was a huge part of my dream, and just to get to do it as a semester itself was one of the biggest things that have happened to me. And I honestly feel like it was one of the most hardest things I've done as a 19-year-old. And I honestly can say this with a lot of conviction that doing that alone at the age of 18, 19 was one of the most scariest, yet one of the most enriching experiences I've had. And it really changed how I look at things, how I look at friendships, how I look at life. And it gives me a lot of resilience to keep going even when I'm in a bad space in my life or anything of that sort, because that semester taught me that I can rely on myself. So that was a very personal goal that I accomplished, and that was all because I was at Flame. Of course, now other universities also have study abroad programs and things like that. I'm not sure about them, so please check those out. But at that time, Flame seemed like the most amazing option for me because it checked all my boxes. So I'd suggest for anyone who's either scared or like, isn't sure if they're getting the best out of their experience, make sure that you make a checklist for yourself. So write down your reason very clearly. What is your why? Why is it exactly that you're doing this? And what is going to get you there. Because before coming, I was very clear on one thing, and it was that I have to do the semester abroad. I have compromised on friendships, I have compromised on a lot of things because of it, which now in hindsight I don't think are compromise at all. Choose your why very wisely and make sure that before you come in, if you have already committed to Flame, which I'm really glad and I hope to see you on campus, make sure that you know your reasons. I agree, living on campus, living a hostel life, living that residential campus life is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best experiences, and I think it makes the best stories for the future. But I do want to say that beyond that, academically, personally, things that you want to accomplish, do your research, talk to people, and actually figure out what it is that you're coming to Flame to do. It can be as simple as, I just want to make sure that my 4 years are one of the most enriching yet, just fun years of my life. And that's completely fine. I don't think that's a wrong um, goal to have. I think everybody deserves to have their own, structures in life, have their own vision for their own lives. So if you're someone who's looking, who didn't have the best of their school life, or didn't really have a lot of memories from your school life, and all you really want to do is come to college and, of course, build your career, but at the same time have an amazing experience, then that is your reason. But just understand what that is and make sure you know that that's your reason for doing something. So, my whole first year and most of second year, because I went on my second year, second semester, I was working towards a goal, and I just knew how to prioritize things better because of it. So it might be something that might help you out. A few aspects at Flame. Let's get extracurriculars and, just general fests and creating memories out of the way. I think when you come into college, you are a different person than you were when you were back at home. Which, what I mean by that is that when you're at home, you are in somewhat a bubble of family, things that you're familiar with, etc., etc. So make sure that when you do come to campus, you allow yourself to be outside of your comfort zone. You allow yourself to actually be someone who you want to be and not just what has been told to you over the years. So learn to explore who you are, put yourself out there, maybe even do things that your original self may not recognize. But it's great to have that shock moment, because then you may realize and you may just stumble across something that you absolutely love. And that's the whole point of the first year to me, honestly, is yes, of course, you keep learning, you keep growing, you keep understanding what you want to do for your career. But the biggest part of that year is to understand who you are and who you are outside of that realm of knowledge that people have of you. Sign up for events, go for club meetings, things like that. Just explore as much as you can, and learn to manage your time, because I think first year is the best time to understand how you function and how your time management skills are. How do you manage projects? How do you, have everything in somewhat of a sync? Your laundry is sorted, this is sorted, that is sorted. Coming to academics, have a mix of both courses that you know you will love and courses that you think you're not too sure about. So make sure that you kind of club both of them together in some way, which is the reason why I say that is because what you will understand through that is A, what you already like. Are you going to continue studying it? And B, if there's something that you never explored and you actually tried it out and you liked it, you can maybe consider taking that as a minor, or when you have to later declare your major minor, it helps you make a better decision. Understand that it's an institution. Flame is a university. And as much as sometimes the university feels like you're living in a resort, it is a university. You are going there to get a degree, which should be taken to your benefit. So you should be able to take full advantage of all it has to offer. Talk to professors. Reach out to literally every second person you want to talk to. Get as many insights as you would like. Go speak to faculty, go speak to HODs. My basic explanation here is just to never take it for granted. Some of the biggest opportunities or some of the biggest decisions that I made for my career also happened with the help of faculty who were teaching me already, or I knew that they had some sort of insight into this. Coming to friends. friends, building friendships, relationships, whatever it is, just your personal life. I think when you first come into college, it's okay if you don't know who or what kind of people are your people, because that just happens with time. It takes time to kind of understand that and be able to kind of make that decision for yourself. But I would say in your first year, the best thing you can do for yourself is not to limit yourself, is not to be like, this is a set of people and I have resonated with them, which is great, but I'm not going to talk to anybody else after this. Which I get, if you in some way are an introvert and you may not want to, I understand that. But from my personal experience, when you just limit yourself to a set of people or a few ideologies, you tend to be like oblivious to everything else. People who think differently than you, and understanding from other people will only come if you don't limit yourself. I can tell you for a fact that you will find your people, but you have to be incredibly patient with this. Friendships and bonds take time to build, and it also takes time for you to figure out whether or not this is something you want. So, learning your boundaries is a big part of it. If you are someone who just does not have the capacity or does not want to do the things that other people are doing, but you feel forced because you have to make those friendships and everything, yes, to a certain extent, you can put yourself outside of that comfort zone, but you need to know when to draw that line. You need to understand when that line kind of crosses for you. Remember to be a little true to yourself and be kind to who you are, while at the same time figuring out a part of your identity that's going to be new at college. I mean, it's as simple as saying you get a clean slate when you come to college. And while people say that, you don't get clean slates very often, I think personally, you can choose when to change who you are, as long as you know that you're being honest and true to yourself. So if something isn't what you want out of your life, then you should have the strength and have the resilience to be like, hey, this isn't what I want. Just some closing thoughts. Don't be so scared. Don't be too nervous. There are also people who are going to be there to guide you through your first year. There's something known as the peer mentor program, where every new student is paired up with a peer mentor from either the second, third, or fourth year. So you have someone who is literally there to help you. So make sure you reach out to them, make sure you talk to them, make sure you understand that they're there to help you, but they can only help you so far. So you have to take that first step yourself. You know, put in the effort. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you and be like, 1 week in, you'll be fine. No, that's not how it works. And for some people, maybe. But for me, especially, it took me a while. It was like it wasn't linear. It was up and down once in a while. And it does help when you go actually talk to your family about it. You, as a person, as a student, are moving out of home and moving into a new space. So for you, it's incredibly exciting. It's a new chapter of your life and everything, right? And that's great. But to a certain extent, keeping this perspective in mind helps, because your family and the people back home, your friends, really help ground you, because you realize that for you, it's a brand new life, but for them, it's the same life with you not in it in that capacity. Lean back a little bit towards them as well when you need it. It's not easy moving away from home. And of course, I'm going to make like a couple of videos more in the next few days, because I know that a lot of people who've already committed to Flame are, going to be moving next week. So I know how important this is. Thank you for watching, and do follow on my Instagram as well, because I do sometimes put up a Q&A box here and there to help you answer questions and things like that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you liked the content, if you like my videos, please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see most of you who are watching this video on campus at some point. So yeah, see you.